da 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 da. Max
Verstappen.
Verstappen.
Max Verstappen. Ryan, you
Sam, we should
better
do a
have
shot.
a shot in your hand. And next time, you shut the fuck up. It's my boy who won. I lead the shot.
Sam, fuck you.
Wow,
My team won today, so we're
starting
gonna celebrate that
spicy.
too. Yeah, we
Oh,
are
okay. I was
starting
like your
spicy.
team.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, my king.
What was the big
In
one?
classic Ryan fashion.
Ugh. Chasing with water. I chased mine with beer, at least. Jesus, boy. You thirsty.
Try to stay hydrated, Sam.
You were thirsty for that Max win, weren't you?
You know, Sam, honest to God, yes, I was. And I will say that because I'm tired of McLaren. I'm tired of McLaren in so many goddamn ways, but we'll get into that. Let's talk about your boy real fast.
Let's
What a weekend.
sing his praises, Ryan.
We shall.
I feel like Max has become like you've lived long enough as a villain. You can see yourself turn into a hero.
Well, I think that you could say that for a lot of the drivers' champions out there. I feel like when they're younger, they're always the villain, but as they get older, they mature, they start relaxing a little bit. They're just the cool dad, and Max is definitely the cool dad of this, especially with the rookies involved. He is the dad to them. Lewis is grandpa. Fernando's just dead.
Yeah.
He's got one foot in the grave. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Max is definitely chilled out a lot, and it's way more tolerable for me as a fan too, especially when I was such a Max hater for years, to where I'm actually excited for him to get this win, which is crazy to say.
I think you, along with the rest of the Tifosi, because they gave him a huge send off at his when he received his trophy. They were singing da 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 during the Dutch national anthem, and they did the exact same thing when he won the Emilia Grand Prix. So he's just dominated Italy this season, and I think it's a little bit because people watched him for 4 years kind of be dominant, right? And it's people kind of got tired of that just in general. But then you kind of get to this other season where we will definitely get into about the ups and downs of Lando and Oscar, and then all of a sudden you just see a great drive from Max, and it's like, oh yeah,
Vintage Max too, being
yeah,
ahead by 20 plus seconds
that's
at
the
the
shit.
end of the race. Yeah,
Not only that, dude, he broke a 20-year-old record, a 23-year-old record today by having the fastest race in Formula One.
yeah, insane how fast that race went by.
Crazy. Well, that's a little bit out of his hands because of no safety cars fuck ups, but hey, he had to do it. And then secondly, he has the fastest F1 qualifying lap ever, which I had to look up like what actually qualifies that because I'm like, I know Austria is faster than this track. Like there's tracks that are quicker on the clock than this one. But for anybody who doesn't know, it's all about the average speed because Imola is such a straight line that his average speed was over 200 miles an hour for the entire lap. And so that's why he got it. So like, yeah, you talk
So
about
funny that he was able to do this in a boat. Like in regards to the car this season for him to just sail that thing into pole win and breaking records, still insane behavior by the guy.
well, they got a new floor in, which is kind of interesting. And you know what? Take away what we said last week about, hey, let's switch him out with the V carbs. I think Max can get the championship still, Ryan. If he gets first and Oscar gets third for the rest of the season, he's got it by a long shot. He just needs to win every single imagine though, every single race. I would be insufferable as a
You know what's kind of crazy though is when we looked at last season,
wow.
McLaren was on the charge at the second half of the season, and Red Bull and Max were on their back foot for so long, and it wasn't until Brazil when Lando absolutely botched that shit and Max showed why he's a champion, was able to clutch it. Imagine if the role reverses again and Red Bull is back and McLaren kind of goes on their back foot a little bit. I doubt it. I absolutely doubt that, but that'd be insane.
Yeah, I doubt it too a little bit, but like because this is probably the most simplistic of racetracks to set your car up for. It's basically a straight line with a lot of right turns. Yeah, it's just straight up
speed.
Which I think it was Martin was saying Vegas seems like it's a very similar track to this. And I'm all for. And you know what, Ryan? We're jumping the gun here a little bit, but if Max wins Vegas, because Max was very, very outspoken to racing in Vegas. He said, I hate it. I hate the glamour. I hate all of it. But he's had a very successful run in Vegas. He won in there the first time. He got his championship there the second time. If he wins in Vegas again, I think Max will be a true American converter.
Vegas.
Yeah, I love it. I just win all the time.
Time to go play the slots.
Yeah. But hey, also shout out to the Cooldown Rundown. You heard it here first. I know we posted Friday, but you heard it here first. We predicted that Max was going to win this race, Ryan. How does it feel to be an insider?
Dude, we're gods. We're gods. Fuck everyone else. Fuck all the other podcasts out there. Fuck the news networks. We knew it. We knew it. You know why? Because we rigged it. We told everyone how it was going to play out. We're like, listen, there's going to be some debacle at some point in the race with the McLaren drivers. There's going to be some drama. Max is going to win. Charles is going to still be pissy about Ferrari in some form or fashion. You know, we knew it all. We knew it all.
I was surprised to, one, he not pushed, led Lando over the grass, and then in the race start, right? And then props to Lando for keeping his foot on the gas all the way to that turn one, pushing Max out.
My favorite part of that whole sequence, Sam, was first off, like you said, props to Lando in that situation to just keep going, because some drivers would definitely just biff it and throw it into a wall at that point. Absolutely. But I gotta say, Max still does his textbook favorite maneuver, and that is forgetting to take a turn and just drive over a little bit. Just like, I'm just gonna take this here, don't mind me. Literally, I was laughing so hard when that happened, but hey, he gave the position back. It was fine, but that was just a really funny moment.
I love the radio. I love Lando's radio. He's like, what a fucking idiot. He pushes me in the grass and then doesn't give me room. And then Max's radio is like, he pushed me too deep. What the hell? And then he gave the position back, and I thought that was wrapped up. I was like, boom. And then 2 laps later, right? Not even 2 laps later, he gets him on at the beginning of lap 2 or 3. And just extended his lead. And this is the only time I was like, no safety car, no safety car, no safety car.
Me over here like, safety car, safety car, safety car. Give Ferrari a chance, please. Please. But all in all, though, like I said, just props to Max, props to Red Bull, props to them finally getting a win under new leadership. That was really cool to see.
Yes.
So hopefully that trend can continue in some of these tracks. Like you said, Vegas is a great chance for him again. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see how he does in Baku. It's a lot of straight stretches. It's a little bit different than Italy and Vegas with the changing.
I forgot we haven't even raced there yet this season. Baby. What the
That's
fuck?
Up next.
That usually happens earlier.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think it used
crazy.
to. I think it used
to. Yeah.
So we'll see. I think it bodes well for me as a Red Bull fan that he not only won, but won by like almost 20 seconds. Like he almost eked out a pit stop there.
It blows my mind that McLaren just couldn't keep up with him. Like I know Red Bull set up the car for maximum speed on that track, but still with the car that McLaren has, I'm surprised they couldn't even combat that. That was crazy.
And it was a toss up in qualifying. Like it really was. Like at one point 4 people went for pole, so like it wasn't even a done deal that like, oh yeah, he was just fast right out the gate. No, he had to eke it through on quality pace. And Ryan, he was so in true Max Verstappen fashion, he is able to. I want to preface this by he has that quality that a lot of great drivers have, and they're able to watch the TVs and be connected to what's happening with the rest of the race. You know, he's not only driving his car, he's driving everybody else's car to see what's going on, and he's looking on the race. And then Jean-Pierre gets on the radio and says, hey, don't worry, the McLarens are swapping the positions back because of their pit stop fuck up. And he went...
that was a beautiful comment by Max.
He's like, all for a slow pit stop?
Dude.
Max could never. Max would never. Hell,
no, Max would never. Max would be laughing the entire time.
Dude, he didn't even give Perez a P6 in Brazil after he won the championship. He said, I ain't giving shit to Perez. Max is like, couldn't it be me? These kids got a lot to learn, and I think they have a lot to learn. And I know you have a lot to say, Ryan.
Sam, okay. Let me tell you this. Fuck McLaren in every which way. Fuck Zach. Fuck Oscar. Fuck Lando. Fuck them all, man. This is the most boring championship battle we have seen since I've been a fan. I know I haven't seen that many, but like looking through the history of it, it's just boring, man. It's so boring when you have a potential to have such a spectacle for the sport, for drama to be induced, and you're just negating that. It is so frustrating. It's just a huge dick tease the entire season. It
It
really
really
is.
is. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just very frustrated that we're just gonna keep doing this. And then you have bitch boy Lando that's like, man, the fucking front wheel, swap me back. And then you have Oscar be like, man, this sucks, but I'm still gonna follow team orders. Bullshit, Oscar. Be ruthless. Secure the championship, dude. Cause some drama. Don't be afraid of it. Because also, McLaren is not going to fuck you over. Well, I mean, the mechanics might fuck you over in a pit stop eventually. That could happen. But it blows my mind that we are still at this situation where it's a repeat of Hungary almost from
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
But
frustrating. It's very
here's the difference. In
frustrating.
Hungary, in Hungary, they made the wrong decision back then too. They made a mistake, sure, and they wanted to keep it fair above board for everybody. But Lando really needed that win last year to keep his title hopes open. Like his Piastri just wasn't in the title race back
Yeah,
then. He just
exactly.
wasn't. So like it would have made sense if they didn't do their team orders back then. Like, but they did because of fairness, whatever. And then they do it again here, pulling off the same bullshit. It's very much no, you go first. No, you go. No, after you. No, after you. And we've been talking the whole season about it's gonna get tight. It's gonna get the emotions are gonna go. And at this point, I don't know. I don't
I
know
don't
if it's
think
gonna
so.
get like that. And I think Lando's DNF last race has actually taken some steam out of this championship.
Yeah.
Because I don't
I
know if
I
Oscar makes that same decision if he's 7 points ahead over 30.
yeah, I agree. Well, here's my thing too, Sam, is we talked about this last week, but the amount of favoritism
Yeah.
in the
Yes.
McLaren office is insane. That they're like, hey, Lando's so bad right now and back of the championship. He really needs this to actually get closer to you in the championship. Would you be okay with letting that happen?
Yes.
Dude, if I was in that car, if I was Oscar, if it was me and you in the championship, Sam, and we were racing against each
Yeah.
other, sorry, buddy.
Fuck him.
Fuck you. I'm like, I'll talk to him after the race. I'll be like, hey man, I'm ruthless. Fuck that. Fuck that, man. It's
Brian,
so annoying.
I texted you in the moment when it happened, and I was like, I was so dejected. And I literally went, I hope Oscar loses this championship by 3 points. I hope he loses it, and I hope he learns a lesson. Like, that might sound really harsh. And I think there's a lot of McLaren fans out there who enjoy that dynamic with their team. And it's to me, it's just too nice. It's too gummy bears and rainbows and La La
Like I
Land, and
like I said,
everybody's having a good time.
they are taking the fun of the drama out of this sport.
Yes.
They
Yes.
are so much, man. Let these drivers just duke it out. If they get mad at each other, it happens. That's what this sport is. That's what Formula 1 is. You have to let this happen. And you're negating that, and it just it pisses me off to no end. I'm very frustrated. I'm so angry at them.
I know it's a completely different scenario because one was a team fault and one was a driver fault. But to me, it actually leads some credence to what Oscar said in Silverstone when he got the penalty for brake checking Max in the safety car. And they gave him, you could argue, a BS penalty.
Mhm.
And the team's like, hey, that's not fair. And Oscar goes, if you think it's not fair, let's switch the drivers back. And they're like, no, let's not do that. But they go in and they go, hey, Oscar, we fucked up Lando's pit stop. It would be fair if you give it back. And Oscar literally even said, I thought slow pit stops was part of the race strategy that we talked about. We agreed that if it's a
Mhm.
slow pit stop, that's part of racing. But okay, I'll give it back, which is the worst call. Like I'm so angry at Oscar a little bit because I like Oscar and I'm with you, Ryan. I'm really starting to get turned off on McLaren, Lando, and Oscar completely. Because I even wrote down, and this is harsh, I think Oscar's a little bit of a sociopath. I don't see any reaction from him. The only time I saw any reaction is him being pouty in Silverstone, him being a little pissy. And you know what? That rubbed me the wrong way because it poo-pooed on Hulkenberg's first podium. So the one time you
Yes.
show emotion is when you fucked over Hulk, and I don't like that. Get out of here. But
No one
when
fucks over the Hulk.
nobody would blame you, Oscar. nobody in the world, not even McLaren. I think even Zach and Andrea would understand if Oscar said, "Fuck that. I'm keeping
Yeah,
my position.
exactly.
I'm holding out my lap lead." I think
You know what the problem is? You know
tell
what the
me.
problem is because I think Oscar is still too young of a driver in some sense to be too scared to go to defy team orders. You can make the same argument with Charles, honestly, but that's a
Yes.
whole different
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
But I think truly Oscar is just too scared to go against team orders. And, like, even if he disagrees with it, like and that sucks to say, and I'm not trying to, like, excuse it at all, but I think that's the only thing I can come up with at this point is that he's just too scared to piss off mommy and daddy.
Well, here's the thing, and he really shouldn't be. He should be completely confident in himself. Because guess what, Ryan? If he doesn't race for McLaren this year, or next year, or the year after that, someone's gonna pick his ass up. Because guess what? You're good, Oscar. There's a certain moment. There's a certain moment in this sport when you are a new driver and you're not trying to cause waves, and you do what the team says. Yes, daddy. Yes, mommy. I'll do whatever you want. Well, you know. But then there's a certain moment that you're like, no, wait a minute. I got a big dick. I know what I'm doing. Let me fuck over here. Let me do my thing. You know, put the camera over here. You're gonna watch this. No, but like, there's a certain amount of like, no, 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 no.
Get this money shot.
There's only 20 drivers. There's only 20 F1 drivers, right? And we
Yeah,
always go back to the same pool. This is an outlier of a year to have 6 rookies. But most of the time they go to the same people. Because guess what? Cadillac's coming next year. Who do they hire? Perez and Botas, old heads, people that driven in the sport,
veterans.
veterans. So when you've established yourself after a couple of years, and hey, if you're a champion, you can get away with a lot. And if you're in a
Yes.
championship battle, if you're leading the championship battle, like no matter what happens with you and your relationship with McLaren, your seat in Formula One is secure. Whether that's with Kick, Red Bull, Ferrari, like anybody would love to have you on their team. So man the fuck up and start fighting for yourself. I think Mark Webber, his manager, is gonna have a stern talking to him. I think so.
Better. He really should. Sam, I think this is also this might be extreme to say, but it's true. Like a cancerous problem with how McLaren is their dynamics and how they are running things because they have toted the line for so long of being like, we don't have a number one driver. We do. It's Lando. We're just not going to say it.
Yes.
We are going to let these boys play fairly, and it's the team first, driver second. No, fuck that. What do people remember in this sport? They remember the drivers' champions. They do not remember. They do not remember the 16 or whatever. I don't even know how many constructors championship Ferrari has. Who gives a fuck? Honest to God, like if Ferrari won this season, that'd be fantastic. I would love that. But at the end of the day, next year, boop, out of my mind.
Ryan,
All I care about
who
is
gives
drivers'
a fuck?
championship.
Who gives a fuck that McLaren won championship last year when Max won the drivers'
Exactly.
championship? Like,
Exactly.
yes, that's where the money goes for, and that's where some sponsorship goes towards. But like, honestly, when it goes down in the history books, nobody's gonna like
Exactly.
nobody's
And
really gonna care.
and I think they have infected the minds of Oscar and Lando in different ways. They've both interpreted the mentality in very different ways, but I think it's really inhibited their championship battle with each other. And the fans, we are being robbed of something magical, Sam.
Yes.
Like we've talked about, the last time this happened was 2016. I believe it's 2016. Nico, Lewis, Mercedes. Runaway championship with the car. You had two great drivers and they duked it out. And yes, it ended a friendship. They did not talk to each other, but that's the sport, Sam. That's this fucking sport. And we are not getting that. And it just pisses me off.
I want to say two things, and both of them deal with interviews after the race. One is Lando Norris, and I can't fully blame Lando because he's toting the company line. He's putting his best face forward, but it's still what he said.
Good soldier. Good
Yes,
boy.
exactly.
Good
It's
boy.
like good job. They asked Lando, "Hey, what did you think of like those team orders kind of a thing?" And his company line answer was like, "Hey, we are the best team here for a reason. We have a certain culture." This is paraphrasing. You can go back and look
Yeah.
at yourself. But, you know, we are the best team
Read up.
around. There's a reason why we're the best team around. And it's these kind of decisions that kind of make these plays. And your face right there, Ryan, is exactly what I heard, because McLaren should be thinking they're lucky stars that there's nobody to challenge them this season, because they are
Yes.
not the best team around. They have the best car around, and I give all the props, all of it, to the
Good job to
designers,
the factory.
the
Good job to the
factory,
factory.
whoever's handling their engines, because they've
Mhm.
been able to get way better quality of life over every other Mercedes engine out there, including Mercedes themselves. And yes, hats off to all of you. But when it comes to these decisions, you guys are getting lucky, lucky, lucky that there's nobody else there to challenge you. And guess what? If Max is, I don't think so, but if Max is going to compete for the rest of the season, you guys are kind of really hurt, kind of a
No,
thing. These
honestly,
decisions.
God, Sam, I would love nothing more at this point in the season than for Max to bring it back to them, so there is more chaos, and they're start quaking in their boots, like, oh my god, we actually got to compete again. What the
Yes.
fuck do we do?
Yes.
Like, because you're right, you are so right. The engineers back home at the factory, the people that are putting this car
Yeah.
together week in
You
week
won
out,
the championship for him.
they are great. The leadership on track and the drivers on track. The drivers are great, don't get me wrong, but those asshats, if they had some competition, they'd be looking like Ferrari sometimes.
Ryan, I completely 100% agree. And this kind of leads into the second post-race interview that I think really counts into this story here. And that's from James Bond villain himself, Toto Wolff. He had a great quote. Dude, he did.
I saw this quote too. I saw it, yeah.
He goes, they're setting a dangerous precedent by laying down rules for things that happen outside of the driver's hands. Okay, we as a team made a mistake with the pit stop strategy. Let's give it back. Where does that line get drawn, kind of a thing? Who
In favor of
decides?
Lando.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, yeah. Who decides what's fair and what's not later on in the season, kind of a thing? Especially as we get closer and closer to this championship. And Toto knows, because he had to handle Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. And
Mhm.
you make this one promise to, I mean, put yourself in Oscar Piastri's shoes. I'm still so upset that he gave the position back. I really am.
Dude, me too. I was begging, man. I was like, please fuck him over,
Yeah.
please.
All of a sudden they go, hey, we've talked about this in the preview race stuff strategy, that if there's slow pit stops, it's nobody's fault. It's fine. And then all of a sudden they say, no, this is no longer fair. We need to give it back. What if there's a race a little bit later on and something goes wrong and Oscar goes, wait a minute, that's kind of not fair. And honestly, Ryan, every time Oscar's been leading, Lando has been given the crazy strategy that has somehow worked out to his favor to win the race.
Yes.
And because he was second, they gave him the Hail Mary throw. It wasn't supposed to work, but guess what? It did. And after a couple times, you're like,
I will say,
dude.
I do love how Lando, every time he gets offered these Hail Mary tosses, and he's like, fuck it, sure, why not? I'm like,
I mean,
let's just try it.
And you can't blame the guy. If you're Lando, because they asked Lando today, hey, do you want to go on hards? That's most likely what Max is going to go to. Or do you want to try something risky and go soft? He's like, what do I got to lose? Let's go soft. And you can't blame the guy for wanting to make the most out of a bad situation. But it only seems to happen for Lando in these situations. If you go back to Hungary and Spa and these things where, like, all of a sudden Oscar's got his work cut out for him because they gave this teammate a better strategy.
Sam, I think at the beginning of this season, I think McLaren expected Oscar to either, one, not be as good as Lando was going to be, or two, follow the line all the way and not even try to bring a championship title for him in consideration. I really think they had no idea, or were planning that was not going to happen. And I think they are trying to mitigate this in the best way possible to help Lando out, because they have such loyalty to Lando for all the years he has been there and all of the shit he has been through, that they are trying to get him to win this championship. But Oscar has been proven time and time again to be better. And Oscar just needs to take control of this goddamn championship and just say, fuck it, man. Ugh.
Well, I think McLaren has, like you said, unexpectedly found themselves in a position they didn't think they would have to deal with last year.
Just like last year.
All of a sudden, we have a possibly driver championship winning car. with Lando, and they fucked it. This year, oh shit, Oscar has stepped up way more than we thought. Ryan,
we have 2.
We got 2 of them. I can't believe we poached the guy from Alpine and it worked out. Oh my god,
Yeah,
But we
in
saw
3
it,
years, crazy.
It is, and we saw it last week, Ryan. Everybody besides one looked upset that Lando DNF'd the champ in the Zandvoort, the Dutch Grand Prix, and like, I get it, your car crapped out, but why? You as a team should be happy that
not
be happy
hype
that
as
Piastri
fuck.
won.
Yeah.
Should be happy. And like, to go back to Lando's comment about, he's like, I think the team made the right decision because they make all the decisions based on the team's needs. Guess what? The team doesn't have any needs. They're winning the championship. No matter what the fuck happens, they're winning the Constructors' Championship. And
Yes.
95% most likely, I only put the 5% because of today's result. Without that, I would say 98%. They're going to win the Drivers' Championship. They should really be hands off, gloves off, go have fun, kids. If you get 2 wrecks, if both of you double DNF like 2 times, or even if you want to be conservative and say 1 time, then we can call out the fight and be like, hey, you're costing us money. But none of that shit has happened. It's so Sesame Street racing, man. It's just like,
Sam, they are ahead by 337 points. Ferrari in second place has 280. They have more points in the pocket than their closest competitor has points in the season. They need to fuck off. They need to fuck off.
That excuse does not work for me anymore. What's good for the team? The team is won. We won. We're good. The team's good. Fuck the team.
It's about
honestly, it's about
crazy.
Me. It's about Lando. It's about.
I feel like that they could win the championship
Oscar, by the way.
tomorrow. Like, honestly, I will say it kind of blows my mind that they haven't won the championship. Like, the fact that like there's still a sliver of hope for Ferrari at this point is crazy. But truly, like, you cannot. Well, okay. Oh, Sam, this is a great question. When that happens soon, which I imagine will be in the next 2 races, because how the fuck could it not be? When they get the Constructors' Championship, what do they do then? How do they handle the team orders? That is the question that we need to be asking people, is what happens next when they get the Constructors' Championship? They have both hands on it. They are just fucking the trophy. Zach's over there just making love to it. What happens next? Who is the number 1 driver? How are they going to handle these debacles when you have a pit crew guy fuck up a tire or a fuck up in strategy? Are they going to keep trying to say, oh, team orders, what's best for the team? Because if they do, I'm going to goddamn riot. I'm going to crash out in this goddamn pod, Sam.
Ryan.
More than I already have.
I can kind of... I'm really trying to put myself in the shoes of like a McLaren fan and the people that like really enjoy this. And hey, if you're out of our listeners that we have, if you're a McLaren fan,
out of the 14,
hey, that's better than I thought.
Hey, there we go.
Out of, if you like McLaren, if that's your team, I would like to know a little bit, like, why, or and if you pick Lando, why Lando, or Oscar, why Oscar? But like, why? Because I feel like
this is our question.
This is our question.
We want to hear from you,
because like a little bit, I don't. It just seems so. It seems too nice and too la-di-da for what is supposed to be a cutthroat sport. And Ryan, because I was listening to the BBC podcast on my way up before we did our thing, and the guy, he did his best. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he was like defending, for like sake of argument, McLaren's. He's like, oh, it's all for fairness, because if you think about it, it is unfair that Lando got held up for 4 seconds because of a jack, and you could argue that it was a McLaren fault. And he's like, and it was unfair to Oscar, and he should keep it. But guess what, Ryan?
Shit happens.
It's an unfair sport. Anybody who's new to Formula One watching, you need to know that right now. The sport is not fair.
I'm just gonna say this right now, honest, and you know where I'm gonna go with this. 2021 Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
Lewis had that race dead to right. Yes. He was about to secure his 8th Drivers' Championship.
Yes.
And fucking the GOAT himself crashed it.
Yes.
Yeah, crashed, caused a safety car. The rules were fucked up in that race, and Max ended up winning. And that sucks, but we can't change history anymore.
Here's the thing. This is why I don't know about other sports, you would know more, Ryan. But I think every sport that has a stewardship or a governing body, there's always a little bit of shenanigans that are happening. And this is the fun part about Formula One. Yes, it's unfair, but that's what makes a great champion, is that he is able to secure enough points to mitigate the unfairness.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to 2021. Max lost the Baku Grand Prix because his tire
I was about to
exploded
say that.
for
I
no
was
fucking
about
reason.
to say that.
Literally, his tire exploded for no reason. And it happened to, I think, Ocon as well. And guess what? Max had to have enough points to be tied with Lewis by the end of the year. Like, he had to mitigate the loss of 25 points. That was outside of his hands.
And you're also forgetting this too. Well, for the viewers who don't know, but in that same race, another just sniper bullet hit Lance Stroll's car.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was Lance Stroll's, and caused a safety car at the end of the race. And it was a sprint shootout for 2 laps or 3 laps left of the race. And it was Perez versus Lewis.
Yes.
And if Lewis would have won that race, he would have been the driver's champion, Sam. And what did he do? He cooked his brakes at the beginning and fucked up turn 1 and lost the race.
Lewis Hamilton.
And if he didn't do that, it would have been a different situation for him in Abu Dhabi. And as a Lewis fan, as a glazer of Lewis, I have to acknowledge that if he didn't fuck that up, we'd be talking differently about 2021.
Exactly right. Exactly. It's a beauty to me. It's the beauty of the sport a little bit.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And it's nothing new. You can go back decades. You can go back to Senna. You can go back to Lauda. I can't tell you specifics, but I do know specifically for Senna, they cooked the rule book against him a little bit on one of his championships with Prost. And it's like, hey, guess what? This sport is not fair. It really isn't. But if you're going to win championships, you need to be better than fair.
You need to be
eke out.
ruthless.
You need to be ruthless. And that's why Max laughed when he said, all over a slow pit stop. Like, that's what they're worried about, is a slow pit stop to keep them happy. That's fucking ridiculous. Because we know Max is ruthless. He would like stab his own teammate to get first, kind of a thing.
He would shoot him in broad daylight and keep going.
He would like fuck over Perez's bonus just to keep 6th place in Brazil. It's insane. And like, and what pisses me off is that McLaren's still going to get the championship, and most likely Oscar's going to get this championship, regardless of these decisions that should really be hurting them. But because they're clear and fair. Here's the difference, Ryan. Here's why I'm on my soapbox. You got me going.
I'm glad.
When McLaren has a dominant car, right? They fuck up. They make these weird team decisions. Lando's losing random races. Oscar's losing random races, right? When Red Bull and Max has a dominant car, he wins 19 races and gets 10 race wins in a row. Like, this is the difference between the championships that we have. It was when you have the best thing, and to make the best out of it. This is why I like Max, is because he's able to get the most out of shit. And then you see McLaren, and they're just kind of like, I feel like they're just playing with Play-Doh. And they're cute and they're fun, and they make some cool things here and there. And it just makes me so frustrated, Ryan. It really does.
It is crazy. Like, the arc I have had in my viewpoint of Max is crazy, because now, like, I miss the ruthlessness. I really do, of a driver. I really do.
Everybody needs a villain, Ryan. Everybody needs a villain.
Yeah, we do. We need a villain for this season. We don't have one. Everyone's too goddamn nice, and it's boring. It's boring. And I didn't recognize that earlier in my F1 fandom, Sam. I'm here to apologize.
It's okay, as long as we grow together, Ryan.
We do. We grow together. McLaren, they're just lucky. They're just asshats.
They just need a solid competition. I think we'll end it on this, because I think you're 100% right. I think if McLaren had a stronger rival between Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes, we would look at McLaren as we look at Ferrari a little bit. That they kind of shoot themselves in the foot. And I think he put it well, really well.
I think you have as well. And I'm very interested to see what happens when McLaren secures the Constructors' Championship, and we're going to really see the favoritism really shine in the coming races, for sure. Chat, apologies for our 30-minute soap opera about McLaren here, but hey, we had some shit to get out. There was other things happening on track, good and bad. For me, Ferrari didn't have the worst day. I was honestly expecting a lot more disappointment from them. So to just get two top 10 finishes, fine by me, my guy.
Yes.
But, there was still some spiciness there. Sam, what do you think about Ferrari and how everything went today?
I think Ferrari should be very lucky that nothing bad happened today. I think that's all they needed was just bring it home, boys. We do not need a riot in our country.
Yep.
And
there'd be fires all over that goddamn track.
I think something that I have seen lately a little bit, Ryan, is Leclerc's getting a little scrappy. He's not Mr. Nice Guy anymore. He's moving under braking. He's pushing it to the limit. And I want to see more of it. I want to see more.
Well, here's my thing, though, Sam, is he is getting scrappy on track, but he's not getting scrappy enough with the fucking team, man.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen, man.
Well, but I'm starting to get to a point, and to the fans at home, if you don't know this by now, you really need to do better. I love to glaze Charles. He's my boy. I'm getting annoyed with week in and week out these radio messages about how he's just pissed off about everything Ferrari is doing at this point. Because I thought whenever the race was playing out and they brought him in to swap tires finally, I thought they put him in at a good spot because he was going to easily overtake those guys and get his position back. He still found a way to bitch about it, Sam, and he was just like, why do we have to do this right now? I was doing fine. This happens every week. And just kept on going, and I'm just like, it's getting to the point where I'm thinking, is he just checked out? Is he just done with Ferrari and he's looking for his next chapter? Which I don't blame the man if he wants to. He's been there for ages now. But I don't know. I'm worried that we are at a point now with Charles and Ferrari that no matter what Ferrari does, and don't get me wrong, Ferrari does do a lot wrong. I think this one time, I don't think it was wrong of them to bring him in when they did. Maybe I'm crazy.
I think Leclerc has drinking the Kool-Aid. He's bought into Ferrari thick or thin. And if my main takeaway with Leclerc lately is just how aggressive he's been on track. He murdered Russell last weekend.
Oh, he did.
He straight up pick a pocket. La polizia, pick a pocket. He a little bit. There's a great
which I love.
I gotta send you the TikTok later. Somebody gave George the picture of Leclerc passing him in that corner, and George takes his marker and goes off track. George Russell wrote it on, and he was
that might be our sleeper rivalry for the season.
Dude,
Charles and George.
Don't get me started on George. George is ready to pick fights with anybody. Enter the song, the Saddam,
the Saddam Hussein edits. Dude, honest to God though, going real fast, going back to the whole McLaren bullshit, if they had a competitor and if it was Mercedes, I would love that because George would be a goddamn menace out there. If he had a more competitive car, it would be great. It really would be. Maybe that's who we need. That's the villain we need is George Russell.
I think that is the villain we need. And Ryan, it might be next year. It really could be.
It could be. A lot of the reports are saying it's going to be him or Mercedes in general.
It's gonna be me. Because
we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Fuck McLaren, but also fuck the FIA, man. I don't understand what the hell they are doing with these rulings. It makes no fucking sense. Is it just they hate Haas?
I think they definitely hate Haas. Ryan, you and I watched the replay like we always do beforehand. And was it Ocon on
Lance? Ocon on Lance.
Ocon on Lance, yes. They touched barely into turn 3. And Lance Stroll goes off and takes the exit road. And they hit Ocon with a penalty for shoving somebody off track. What?
Yeah. Dude, I watched that live with my buddy. And I'm just like,
you got buddies now over me? Okay.
All
right. Do the pod with him.
Okay. Atticus,
I'm just joking. I'm just kidding.
But no, literally, I was watching it live, and I'm just like, I don't understand how that's a penalty, but okay, I guess we're you know that one meme of the factory worker, and it's just like, I guess we're doing this now. I guess we're handing out. I guess we're just handing out these penalties now for whatever fucking reason. Because that's what the fuck we're dealing with the FIA. It feels like for real.
Dude, that
Nothing makes sense. And this goes back to last week. Sorry.
yeah.
It goes
Yeah.
back to last week about dude, it's so frustrating. There's no consistency with FIA ruling every goddamn race in and race out. I swear to God, the same thing could happen twice in a race and they will give you different situational penalties.
Well, here's the big problem with Ryan is that they do not have a permanent stewardship for all 24 races. Listen, this is a multi-billion
That
dollar
blows my
company.
mind.
It really does. There's no reason why we can't have the same 5. Or at least, if they need to take vacations, have like 7. Do it like a juror system. You have your main guys and you have your backup jurors, right? And if it was a real problem in 2021 as well, because some stewards looked at things that Max was doing and said it was legit, and then a race later they said that's not cool, and then it caused confusion, and it caused for drivers to be like, "Hey, can we get something in writing of what's legal and what's not?" And even then, it's still up to interpretation, and then up to the punishments of everything. They get penalties out, not only this time penalty, but also the penalty points, which can lead to a race ban, which we're going to get into here before too long. It's crazy to me that the multi-billion dollar company does not pay the racetrack stewards. The word I'm looking for is the people that actually wave the flags and pick up the pieces. Those guys, the marshals, they don't pay them. Those guys volunteer.
Yeah.
And like
Sam, well, if
maybe that's how they're a $1 billion company. They don't pay people. I don't know.
Well, it's capitalism for you, buddy. Listen. Anyway,
give me
not
more
on my
oil
communist
money,
bullshit.
please.
Honestly, I'm gonna glaze the NFL real fast here for a minute, Sam, because like, honest to God, the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar organization too that's been around for over 100 years now, and they have a really good system to where these things. There are some moments where you are like, this call should have gone a different way. There's multiple in the past decade I can call out, but they are far and few between to the inconsistencies that you have at the FIA.
Yes.
So let me explain. Is in the NFL, if there is a touchdown, if there is anything super controversial that happens in a game, there are so many cameras that are on the field all over the place, and everything is monitored at their headquarters office back in New York City. And if there is anything that HQ, well, first off, if a touchdown is scored, headquarters looks at it to make sure it's an official touchdown, to make sure everything's kosher. There was 2 hands on the ball. He crossed the plane. Good to go. And if they see anything that is too inconsistent from the ruling on the field because the refs are seeing stuff in the moment, they might get a missed call. You have booth review and you have reviews back in New York. They will interject. They will pause a whole goddamn game across the country and be like, hold on, we want to look at this. And they have a whole team of people looking at it. And they have analysts who have been there for years that know the sport. They know the legality. They know the rule changes every season, in and out. What is a catch? What is not a catch? What deems a touchdown? What deems a fumble? All of these things to make sure it is the most consistent ruling possible. And yes, there are still moments where these things, there are still some cracks that break through. That happens. But again, not to the same level as we experience with the FIA. And it does blow my mind that we do not have a consistent crew week in and week out. I know people need breaks, but I also there's only 24 races a year.
No.
It's not that bad.
Ryan, like you said, it can be virtually. They can do it all in London. They don't have to leave their house to go. I think the stewards are there on track location. Like I do believe they are there, but there's no reason for them to not do it virtually. Like you could do it in your pajamas. I don't care. As long as I don't even care if it's bad calls. As long as it's consistently bad calls across the board, kind of a thing.
Yes, that's the part we are missing is just consistency with these rulings because nothing makes sense.
No.
And it is very frustrating.
Let me talk about this because we've been going on this FIA rant without even talking about the other FIA incident that we want to talk about, which is Sainz versus Behrman.
Yes,
Another
dude,
Haas car.
a murder
Dude,
on the streets.
Sainz goes to overtake Behrman into turn 3, and he gets ahead of him, and Behrman keeps his car on the inside, and Sainz turns like nobody's. I turn now. Good luck. And he sweeps
Good
over
luck,
to the left,
everybody.
and they both hit. Which Sainz is a little notorious for doing that, of just turning in randomly, kind of a thing. And like from Sainz's perspective, he's like, oh, he should have moved out of my way completely. But to me, the official document says that Sainz's front axle was ahead of Behrman's front axle, and he deserved the right of the corner. To me, Behrman's wing was still on the significantly alongside to deserve some space. Because guess what, Ryan? If you did that move to me on the game, I would be pissed.
Oh, I'd be rage baiting. Sam, Carlos turned like there was no one there.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
If it was you and me in that situation and you were on the inside, I would be giving you enough room to compete for the turn.
Yes.
Because I understand that there's a whole ass car going upwards of 180 miles an hour right next to me too, and I should give at least 6 inches of space so you can try to make this turn too, and we'll see what happens. That is the issue here.
To me, Ryan, because the way the document said is that it was his corner because he was ahead, barely, just and not even like ahead, just front axle to front axle. But he's on the outside. He's on the outside turning in. And I feel like that argument only works if you're defending the position, kind of a thing. Like, hey, I'm here leading and I'm taking a corner. But no. You came in from the outside to get around me and then take the turn. And if you just cut me off, like, I feel like that's very egregious. And then another thing for Sainz and this whole debacle, because I feel like Sainz was on the shit end of the stick last weekend. He got hit with a penalty that he most likely shouldn't have gotten. And then this time he got...
Pendulum swings back.
Yes, it does. And I can't tell you what specific incident, but in the same turn area, turn 3, he went off track and he did not go the designated route over the yellow line to go all the way around to enter the track by the regulations. Scot-free, Ryan. He got a reprimand. I have no idea. To me, when that happened, I'm like, that's a slam dunk. That's a slam dunk. He went off track for whatever reason. Yeah, that's the only answer.
Based on the stewards on track, and we, like you said, there's ones that come in, or like it's not consistent.
It could be the stewards being like, "Hey, he got the shit in last weekend. Let's give him a little leeway this weekend," kind of a thing, which is not good, but that could be a possible answer. I don't know.
It really could be. It just it's very frustrating as a fan when none of this shit makes sense. It's so funny because like I feel like we have so much we just love to bitch about with this sport, but honestly to God though, the sport gives us enough to bitch about. So
this is my soap opera ride. Can you imagine? Did you see what he did to that guy? Oscar gave it back to Lando. What the?
This is our reality TV drama.
This is our reality TV show. Our church day Sunday. It is. It's a couple things. Well, Ryan, I know we've been bitching and complaining about the stewards and the FIA, but I am getting confirmation now that RPS, Ryan's point system, is finally open. Ryan, let me know what's going on in your world of the points.
Sam, beautiful. I'm glad you asked. There's plenty to talk about. If you can direct yourself to the notes, I have shared my graphic with everyone to the world.
Yes.
And so there has been some movement, not a whole lot especially in the constructors. Let me just get that out of the way. Everyone stayed the same, so run through it real fast. 1 McLaren, 625 points. 2 Ferrari, 458. 3 Mercedes, 427. 4 Red Bull, 398. 5 Williams, 298. Exactly 100 points apart. Crazy. 6 Haas, 275. Oh shit, I need to fix that. 7 Racing Bulls, 273. I see that now. 8 Aston Martin, 251. 9 Kick, 246, and 10 Alpine with 177. That is our constructor standings. Sam, there was actually some movement in the Drivers' Championship this week. So to quickly run through this and to explain this to everyone, if the drivers moved up, they got green. If they dropped down 1 position, they got yellow. If they dropped down 2 positions, which no one did this week, they would get orange. And if anyone got dropped 3 or more positions, they would be in red. Just so everyone understands the color coding system here. and I am colorblind, so
You're missing a
apologies
driver
in
too.
advance if this doesn't make sense. He's dead, Sam. The ghost is gone. Okay, Jack does not exist anymore in my point system. Dead, gone, buried 6 feet under. Anyway, Oscar and Lando 1 and 2 respectively. Oscar at 330, Lando at 295. Max moved up to P3 again to 277, and just swapped positions with George to P4 at 276. Just a 1 point difference between the two boys. I love how they're just duking it out still. 5, 6, and 7 are still the same. Charles with 237, Lewis with 221, and Alex with 171. Kimmy moved up 1 position to P8 at 151. Nico dropped down to P9 at 145. The poor guy didn't even get to start in the race, so that was expected to happen. P10 still the same. Esteban at 140. And then we had 3 drivers move up. Oliver moved up 1 position to 135. He is tied with Isaac at 12 at 135 as well. And then Yuki moved up 1 position to P13 with 131. Fernando had the worst week out of anyone, rightfully so. He DNF'd. He's now at P14, dropped 3 positions to 127. Carlos moved up 1 position to P15 with 127 as well. So that him and Fernando are tied technically. And then Lance dropped down 1 position to P16 at 124. And then 17 through 20 still the same. Pierre at 17 with 115. Liam at 18 with 114. Gabrielle at 19 with 101. And Franco Colapinto at 20 with 52 points. That is where the Ryan point system currently stands, my guy.
Can I ask you a clarifying question? So how do you determine Oliver and Isaac have the same points at 135? How do you determine who is ahead?
So technically last week, Oliver was still ahead over Isaac. So, and this is just how, honest to God, Excel quantifies this and like adjusts it. It's still kind of just staying the same. So like Oliver was already ahead, so he automatically gets the nod up, and then Isaac just moved up recently, so he kind of just stays there. I could make the graphic change to where it would show them tied, but honest to God, I'm just a lazy fuck. Honest to God.
Well, I know you're a lazy fuck, and I feel bad for calling you out, but in my opinion, something we can change in the future. I think Isaac should be 11th to Oliver's 11th. Mainly because in the real world point system, if 2 drivers tie, they go to their best finishing position of all the races. So Isaac getting a podium would have put him ahead of
that's
Behrman.
A fair point.
Keep that in mind.
That's a fair point. No. Sam, that's a very fair point, and I'm glad you called me out on that. You bastard! You made me look bad in front of our 2 people that listen to this.
Well, I thought it was 14. Fuck!
You know, it just changes based on what's going on. You called me out, so everyone left. That's what it is.
You had all the fans.
I had all the fans. Everyone's here for me, Sam, not you. So, but no, that is a really good point, and I will do my due diligence to do that in the future.
Right.
But I kind of just threw it all together today and just. So yeah, chat can figure that out if they want to. You know what, chat? You have some homework. You can figure out based off of my point system how everyone stacks up. Otherwise, fuck off. I don't care. But that is the point system, Sam. I'm very curious about what's going on over at Rookie Watch.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
Well, to get into the quickness of it all, in qualifying, we only had 3 rookies who beat their more experienced teammates. Real Bortoletto, once again, is beating Hulk, which I think by the end of the season, Ryan, Gabby versus Hulk's qualifying heads to head, I think it's going to swing Bortoletto's way big time.
I think so too. I think we've talked about this. Fernando has talked about this extensively. I think Gabby is a sleeper when it comes to the rookies, man.
Yes,
I really do.
Yes. And to go on that a little bit, I think it's funny that Gabby finds himself fighting with Alonso the most. He fought with him today. I think Alonso overtook him in the pit lane, which, by the way, the TV direction was horrible, man. Gabby goes in the pits, Alonso goes in the pits. We both knew it was going to be quick. And then in this pit lane incident, Ryan, Gabby slows down a little too early in the pit lane to make his speed, and Alonso closed the gap up to him all the way. He said, no. Went right onto his tail end, beat him in the pit lane because of it, and then unfortunately had a DNF after that. I just think it's kind of funny that Gabby's literally getting schooled a little bit by his manager. And I 100% agree. If if he was in a different team or if he had a different nationality, I think a lot of people have been talking about him a lot more.
My top 2 favorite rookies right now, Sam, it is Isaac and Gabrielle.
I think
A solid third would be Oliver. Really would be.
that's
my star 3.
I kind of agree with you, Ryan, and I'll get into that in a second, but I do agree with you. The other 2 people that beat their teammates in qualifying was Behrman and Franco Colapinto, who beat
Wow.
I know, that's actually kind of good. It's 18th to 19th to his teammate, and he only beat him by like, oh man, Ryan, 0.01 seconds. He beat Gasly. But hey, a dub's a dub.
Dub is a dub.
So as we move into the races, also for the record, both of the Racing Bulls did kind of badly today in qualifying. Liam Lawson qualified 20th, and Isaac qualified 16th. And
his first Q1 exit.
And we could probably blame a certain Spaniard for that happening. I know Hadjar was not happy about what Sainz was doing on track, and it was a little bit of Hadjar made a mistake on his first run, and he did not get a clean second run because of Sainz. And so, yeah, that's what happened with Hadjar. But both Hadjar and Liam moved up 6 positions in the race, and Hadjar, qualifying 16th, got himself a P10, got himself a point. Awesome work. And Liam Lawson made his way up to, I believe it was 14th, another 6 positions. So good on them for both making some moves happen. The only 2 people who beat their teammates in the race was Gabby Bortoleto, who I think he secured a P8. And it's a little bit unfair because his teammate Hulkenberg did not finish the race. He didn't even start the race. But a P8 is still pretty solid. And then Behrman beat Ocon in P12. He beat him by 3 positions. Ocon was P15. Behrman had a penalty, which I put as a positive, but so did Ocon. So it evened out. They both had penalties. So this leads us into our awards, Ryan. Unless you disagree, I think the Rookie of the Week, nobody was too like standout-ish, but I think Gabriel Bortoleto deserves Rookie of the Week. We didn't see him much.
By me.
He did the work on Saturday. He got P8 in qualifying, and guess what? He kept that P8 throughout the race. And I think that's very admirable. And honestly, actually, I think it's because, yeah, I'll circle back. But he got P8. I think that's super solid. To me, Gabriel Bortoleto. The only other person was maybe Hadjar for securing a point. But Bortoleto, good job. You did it. Worst rookie, Ryan. This is a name that's coming up quite a bit, which is Kimi Antonelli.
Oh, okay.
Right. He got a 5-second penalty for driving erratically.
Yeah, that's fair.
He got a black and white flag for track limits by like lap 20. So I was expecting a penalty for track limits. No. He got a penalty for erratic driving. And because of that, that's how Gabby kept his P8 position. So out of all these drivers, the one who is kind of fucking up the most is Kimi. And I think if it keeps going this route, I think you and I have a conversation at the end of the year about Kimi. But that wraps up our rookie drivers of the week.
It's very interesting because I'll be honest, I kind of thought maybe it would be Liam with his egregious move on Yuki, but when you bring up the penalties at Kimi, it makes sense. Especially, I do think it's okay that we scrutinize Kimi a lot more because he is in such a better car compared to the rest of the rookies. He shouldn't be making these dumb mistakes.
Ryan, even if he wasn't, he would be even if it wasn't a good car, his last performances in the last 6 races have been pretty abysmal. He has not.
Oh, I know all about them, Sam. I know all about last week. Don't remind me.
Something I needed to bring up again that I should bring up in this rookie watch. Last comment is that Behrman is, because he got hit with a penalty, a bullshit penalty. Let me say that too. He got 2 more points on his license. It's his rookie year, and he's up to 10 penalty points on his license. If he gets,
and he is K-Mag reborn,
reincarnated,
again.
Dude. Well, it's unfortunate that like I think almost half of these points happened because of red flag infringements during practice, not even racing,
dude. Which blows my fucking mind.
So because he's at 10, at 12 points, he gets a race ban. That's
who do you put in?
Who do you put in? I don't know who they're back.
Bring K-Mag. Bring K-Mag in for a race.
Yeah. No, yes, please. Put in K-Mag. Put Ocon in his place. Chat, you hear this?
Bring the real terrorist back to the track.
You wanted to see a real terrorist?
This is what a real one looks like. Cue the music.
Yeah. So that is our rookie watch of this week. And Ryan, I don't think it's on the pod yet because we don't have the sound, but I'm hearing police sirens.
Imagination.
Well, sorry guys, this entire podcast got pulled over for drunk driving. We had a little bit of technical difficulties and we lost about the 10 minutes of our recording. To that we apologize. We're still learning the ropes of this new technology and we strive to be better in the future, and I think we'll get a handle of it. You guys only missed out on our awards ceremony at the end. We gave our drunk driver to Kimi Antonelli for receiving his penalties across all of his actions over the race day. He even got some warnings here and there. We thought it was fair to give it to him. We gave our designated driver to who else but Max Verstappen. He got us home safely, securely, avoided a mad tyrant of Lando Norris coming up on the inside, and set us there in record time as well, while keeping a calm demeanor. Who else would you want to get you home? And our mad dad driver, our pissed off experienced driver, goes to Fernando Alonso. His car crapped out on him halfway through the trip. He had to pull it over, and he could not wait to get out of that thing after yelling at his race engineers. So that is our awards, chat. We will see you next time we race, which will be in Baku, and we cannot wait. See you there.